Here we go. Hey, we are live.
Hi.
What's up? What's up?
We have one more person coming, Ty, and I guess I sent a text. Did anybody see any notification from her?
No.
I know she sent me a text earlier, so I'll just look in the waiting room. But we can get started because I want to be respectful of your time. And so thank you for anybody that's watching. If you can, and you follow me, go ahead and share my live from Facebook, and then we can get some more people watching. And then I'll take note of the comments that are going on in Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and share my Facebook Live now since we're live, and then we can get some more people going. Oh, come on. Maybe.
It does show that we are live, though.
It doesn't say live?
Well, on this platform, it shows live. I don't see it on your page.
I don't see it, right?
No, yeah, I don't see it either.
Oh, you know why?
You can't because you're live.
I know why. It might be the way I entered. Hold on. Let me just make sure.
All right.
It says I'm planning to go live today at 7.
Did you hit the
screen? I didn't do anything wrong over here.
Go live on Facebook?
No, she's not.
Edit. It says I'm live somewhere. Oh, I know where I'm. Nope, that's not it.
The live.
You were going live on YouTube?
Didn't
you say you was
going live? It says I'm live on YouTube. Do you see me on YouTube? But I'm supposed to be live on Facebook.
I'm not seeing you.
You don't see it, right? I'm going live
because I have it up and I don't see it.
Oh, I see it now. It's there. You're on your page live.
Oh, I am.
Okay, so that's the page. Okay, hold on.
We are live on Facebook.
We are live.
A little bit of a
Hi,
delay.
everybody. I'm glad you see because I don't.
Me either.
Yeah, I see it right here. See, it's we're live right there.
Oh, look at you.
Look at us.
Where? I want to see.
Where?
It's a bit of a delay.
I'm hitting refresh. Maybe I hit it.
We have viewers.
We have viewers? Happening. Oh, I see it. Hold on. No, that ain't it.
Well, maybe you have to watch.
Somebody sees it. Okay. Tell people I said, hey.
Tag me. I sure can. Let me tag Keisha.
Yeah, so we can see comments.
I was going to do a watch party if I could find it. Yeah, see, and I don't see it. Oh, hold on.
I don't know if I'm your friend, Keisha.
How you going to be doing stuff and be on the platform with me and not be my friend?
Okay, how about I go to Katrina's page? Katrina, did you share it?
I have not, but I can. Let me go.
Yeah, share it, and then I can see it on your page, and then maybe I can find it on my page.
And you not be my friend.
Okay. Now I gotta figure. Okay, we up to 4. Oh, Miss Debbie Hartman.
Okay, and then look, all this waiting. We got Chef Ty.
Hey, Ty.
She coming in slowly.
When you get a chance, can you share the link so we can share it?
Yeah, she's doing it now. Katrina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you share it yet?
Yes.
The chef is in the house.
It's not doing it. Why is it not sharing?
Because
I'm pushing share now, but it's not letting me. You guys don't on Sharon's. Can I do the watch party?
Yes, that's what I want you to do.
Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Watch party. There we go.
All right. Let me see if I can see it then.
Katrina, what's your last name?
Humphrey. HUMPHREY.
Let me see if I can find you and find it.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to do now.
Humphrey.
Okay.
Yes, Sharon.
And now I'm going to share Katrina's.
You guys don't
Boom. I
Sharon,
found
can I
Katrina.
do the watch party?
Yeah, I got your watch part. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm responding to the live.
Watch party. There we go. All right. You have to read the other thing. Humphrey, H-U-M-P-H.
Oh, I hear it. Somebody got to turn it down.
Me. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm sorry.
Humphrey.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to share it, but you're right, Katrina. It won't let me share. There it is.
Okay, so share.
Okay, Jessica's sharing. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Debbie. Humphrey, H-U-M-P-H.
Oh, I hear it. Somebody got to turn it down.
Me. That's what I'm trying to do now. Okay, I'm almost done. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to share it, but you're right, Katrina. It won't let me share. There it is. I'm sorry, guys. Jessica's sharing. Okay.
I'll get this right together.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So you won't hear me. Did everybody else find it and share it?
Yes.
How did Ty get kicked out? There you are.
There she is.
You dress up, Ty.
She's got her mask on.
There she
The only
is.
reason I am in the kitchen and I just got finished making 40 gallons of hot sauce. So
Wow.
I'm doing this entrepreneur thing, like we in here, yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
I love it. This is great. So it looks like we have some viewers. I'm going to go and see if I can see any comments. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see any, but this, like I said, it's live somewhere. And what I'll do is I'll post it. Everybody has to be on mute.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was after I got it going live, I just, I closed it. So I'm not hearing it.
Okay.
Is that good? Okay. So wow. 7 minutes. That's all. That's not bad. It wasn't that bad. Technical, getting it around, getting it together. But I'm so happy you guys are here. And I just had this idea because with all the things that are going on with COVID, with business, ups and downs, and I'm kind of like in my own little world. I don't get out like I normally do. Facebook has become like TV. And so I'm kind of keeping up with things, keeping up with people through Facebook. I'm watching CNN, and then I have to take a break. And so I think that this is a great time for us to talk. I don't know about you guys, but in my business, I'm starting to see a little light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a roller coaster since February, March, and then here we are. So I know there's still a lot that we all have to do to, I guess, get back to where we were, or, get comfortable in our new normals. We're going to dive in. We're going to see what you guys have done. If you've decided to pivot, what you were doing, now what you're doing, or if you have been thriving because your business supports what's going on. I don't know, but we're going to find out. So I just put the post out. And this platform that we're using, it only allows for me to have 5 guests. So I just took it in order. So those that wanted to do this tonight, I got you on the list for the next time. And then I wanted to keep it going. So hopefully every week there's business owners, women business owners that are thriving, that can help people strategize through this time, hopefully give people hope that we will survive through the pandemic. And 2020 is not a total loss, but hopefully it's been a time of peace and clarity, time to restructure some of us, or rebrand. That's what I'm trying to do. Rebrand, and you've learned a lot about, where you are in business, what you're doing with your family. Maybe it was family time for you. So some of us needed this quiet time, this time to just stop and stay at home and figure things out. So I wanted to do the first episode focusing in on you guys, who you are, what do you do, what's your business, what have you been doing in the last 3 to 4 months, and what the future looks like. And if you have advice for the watchers that are business owners or want to be business owners, that you can give them some advice, because people have been asking me, is this a good time to start a business? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It depends on what you want to do. But I think that you guys probably will have a really good insight on, what's out here. What can we do? So I'm going to take it in order, I guess, and just introduce everybody and have you guys talk. But maybe we'll do like a little quick ice warmer. Have you ever done 2 truths and a lie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Katrina, 2 truths and a lie.
Unmute.
You're muted.
All right.
Can I do that? Okay.
Oh, he's talking. 2 truths and a lie about me?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 truths. 2 truths. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mother. And a lie, I'm shy.
You're not supposed to tell us what
Now,
you
you
figure it out. I was like, she just gave it away. Because
you
we
guys
can figure that out quick.
I hear that part. I never played the game. That was on
At
mute.
least we know who's not a liar. How about that?
Katrina's not a liar.
You can
That's
trust
for sure.
Katrina because she's not a liar.
No, I can't keep a straight face. Okay, next.
So Katrina is a wife. She's an entrepreneur. What was the lie you was going to try to tell us?
I don't know.
She's like, I didn't care what it was. I was just making it up. All right, Danielle, I'm expected you played this game before.
I have. I am a mother of 4 children. I'm a serial entrepreneur of about 5 different businesses. And I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia.
Anybody want to guess? I think I can figure it out.
It's the first one. Don't you only have
Right.
like 2 kids?
I was going to say the first one.
Right.
I only have 2 children. I have 20.
Yeah, I was going to say she got 2 kids.
I read your bio and your Facebook page, and you do have a lot of businesses. I'm excited to hear from you today. Oh my goodness. Takesha, 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. Let me close my eyes so y'all can't see when I'm telling the lie. Let's see. I graduated from college in 3.5 years. I am currently enrolled in school, and I lost the same job twice.
Ooh.
I want to say she's not enrolled in school right now.
I was going to say that too.
No, I'm not.
Let me go back to.
I ain't got time for that. I got businesses to run. One day I'll go back. Lori.
Okay. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've snorkeled off the island of Zanzibar. And I have baptized someone in the Indian Ocean.
That's the last one. You stalled.
I'm going to say it's the first one.
First one.
I'm going to go with the last one.
Good
I've
luck.
never been to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. I was like,
Now, I'm excited about the Zanzibar. Because that's where I want to go.
Zanzibar is pretty dope. You would love it.
Oh,
All right, Chef Ty, 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. Okay. I am a Food Network chef. I have successfully jumped 27 times and landed from an airplane. And I know how to fix brakes.
I'm gonna say the
You
second.
don't know how to fix brakes.
Yeah, the break thing. I don't know about
I
that.
don't know. She's a woman of many trades. So
I don't know. You really jumped out of 27 something planes?
I believe she jumped out the planes.
Yeah, I did jump out of planes.
Yeah.
So what was the lie?
She don't know how to do no brakes.
The brakes.
She jumped out the planes and she don't know how to do no brakes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to do brakes. The funny thing was, I heard you say she stalled, so I tried to stall with all of them. So that way, you couldn't figure out which one was the lie.
Good. That's a good one.
Good.
Let's see
I
mine.
stepped out the kitchen.
I was a flag girl in high school. I was born with six fingers on each finger.
Oh.
And I Let's see. Give me another one. Let's see. I love Brussels sprouts.
Ooh. I didn't get the second one. 6 fingers on what?
How you have 6 fingers on 6 fingers?
On 6 fingers. Did you mean 6 fingers on one hand?
Huh?
So
Did you mean 6
mean
fingers
6
on one
fingers on
hand
one hand?
or 6 fingers on
6
6
fingers
fingers?
on one hand. Flag girl in high school, and I love Brussels sprouts.
I don't think you love Brussels sprouts.
I don't think you love Brussels sprouts either.
I think it's the Brussels sprouts.
Mm.
It's the Brussels sprouts. I was born with 6 fingers on each hand.
All right.
If you can
Yeah,
see. And I was a flag girl. So I knew Takesha was like, nah, she was a flag girl.
And come on now.
because I married somebody that played on the football team at Huguenot. You know, I already knew that one.
You already knew. See, I said that first. Usually the lie is not the first one, but I did have time. I could have come up with a better lie. But then Brussels sprouts, I can't get with it. Everybody says it's so good.
Y'all
And
know
now it's on
y'all
everybody's appetizer menu, and I'm just like, no, I'm not feeling it.
No.
I love Brussels sprouts.
I think
Well, I mean, if I was a chef, then I probably would, but I'm saying.
So I'm gonna dive right in. I know I gave you guys some pointers, but let me tell everybody who you are. I'm gonna start with Miss Lori. So I'm really interested. It was so funny. After I started reading your bio and then I went to your Instagram, somebody posted a live. It was over the weekend, I think, and they were at the River City Market. And I was on that page, I'm going through, and I saw your logo, and I was like, oh, so she all over the place. I said, we're gonna have lots to talk about today. All right, let me open up your bios. All righty. All right, so Miss Lori Ruffin, she is an upbeat strategic thinker, speaker, and founder of the COO team, an operations agency that specializes in helping visionary leaders get the strategy and systems they need to scale. So Lori, take it away. Tell us more about the COO team and yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be with you today. Yes, so I founded the COO team. When I initially started my career, I started out in corporate America. Then I worked for a startup that built brands for international missions organizations. And so having had one foot in the corporate world and one foot in the nonprofit world, I saw there was an opportunity to help bring more systems and strategy to mission-focused organizations. So for the last, 7 years in October, I've been doing that full time, working with organizations, particularly nonprofits or social enterprise organizations, mission forward organizations, helping them really translate their vision into strategy and their strategy into systems so that they can grow and scale. When you think about corporate America, you have executives that have a COO that's taking care of just getting all the details done. Usually the visionary leader or the CEO is building a relationship. They're handling innovation and kind of pioneering type of work, but they have the luxury of having a number two person that's the get it done person. But when you come to smaller organizations, oftentimes you don't have someone who can really focus on the nuts and bolts of the business or the organization. So that's what we do. We do capacity building experiences. We have accelerators, a people accelerator, which we call a people academy, and we have a strategy academy. A strategy academy helps organizations build out a strategic plan in 90 days. And then our People Academy helps organizations build out strategic HR systems in 90 days so that they don't need to hire us ongoing. We can come alongside of them and help them build their infrastructure, and then they can continue on, but operating at a higher level. So I'm from Richmond originally. I'm married and I have 2 sweet little girls, one that just turned 4 last Saturday, and the youngest is 1. All 3 of us have had COVID-19 birthdays. But yeah, I love what I do, and I just really have a passion for visionary people in particular that see things before everybody else does, but sometimes the ideas are so big, but there needs to be structure to help it come to fruition. And so that's where I and my team come in.
How small or how big are the organizations that you work with? Do you only
Yeah.
focus on small businesses or?
Yeah, so I would say small. Usually the teams are less than 25 people, anywhere from 2 to 3 up to 25. Usually after that point, they may have a full-time HR person or need a different type of engagement in terms of their strategic planning, which we can do, you know, project-based strategic planning work, but typically we're really gearing more towards our accelerators. And then from a budget standpoint, I would say the majority would be anywhere from 250,000 and under, but we have served organizations up to $1 million in revenue. So that's our sweet spot, kind of on the smaller side of engagement.
And do you have a team or do you work by yourself?
Yes, I have a team. So we don't have employees. We 1099 everybody, which kind of helps. I love that. It's the way that the economy is. It's a gig economy. I'm able to bring in high level resources at different times for different projects. And then I have my regular crew that I work with all the time. So that's how we're structured.
Awesome.
Excellent. Anybody else has questions for Lori? My other question would have been, any exciting projects that you are currently working on, projected to work on, or that you had to stop working on because of the COVID?
Yeah, we've got some really exciting things happening. One of the beauties of what we do is we work with organizations virtually. So we do some face-to-face work, but we were online before COVID-19. So we've been able to help organizations that had in-person gatherings pivot to online events. And that has been exciting to really walk alongside of organizations and see how can we help you kind of reposition yourself. And so that's been something exciting. And then there's we're also working with a project around strategic planning that I think is really poignant for this cultural moment. So we're working with a Black Chamber of Commerce to develop a 150-year plan for the region. And so that is a very exciting project. It's wild. I mean, 150 years is a long time, but when we're thinking about the ongoing and persistent needs within the Black community, and how we need to be more strategic around addressing some of these gaps and having data-driven solutions, that's the process that I'm guiding a group through. And so it happened to be, we started this before COVID-19. We started this before, the unfortunate passing and murder of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. But I feel like it's poignant because a lot of times right now people are asking what next now that there's so many protests, and we already are working on a what next solution that once we finish for this particular region, the organization will then have a template to be able to utilize in other communities. So anyway, I think that's one project that is kind of a custom project that I'm really excited about. But it just fits into that desire and that drive that I have within me to come alongside of people that have a vision, because I never would have thought of putting together a 150-year plan, but to be able to support a leader in thinking through how can we get this done, that's been a really exciting project for us.
That's really good, Lori. Well, I'm excited that you're here, and we're going to hear from Chef Ty next.
Okay.
Let me get Chef Ty's bio out. Hold on. So she can gather her thoughts. Sorry. All right. She sent me a very long bio, but I love it. She was born and raised in Philadelphia. What part of Philadelphia?
West. That's why I don't say it.
Born and raised.
Right. That's why.
She has a passion for She's had a passion for cooking since the age of 8, when she started cooking with her nana. She didn't start off becoming a chef. In fact, after high school, she went into the Army. That's where we got that jumping out of planes. She went straight to the Army and served her country. After her tours were done, she stayed in her profession and became a LPN. It wasn't until the loss of her beloved nana that she hung up her stethoscope and picked up a knife and went to work in the kitchen. So, Chef Ty, please tell us more about you, about your cooking, about your catering?
So, my passion has always been food. It is the glue that kind of keeps all of us together. My background, being that I came from West Philly, I came from a part of West Philly that's known as the Bottom. And I grew up in a speakeasy. So I always had a colorful, full, bright, like look at life. Um, the best way to encapsulate it is if you remember the movie Lackawanna Blues,
Yeah.
that was kind of my house. Like on Wednesdays we had poker night. Like my grandfather was a master mason, and he had built not only our home, but he had helped build most of the homes in our neighborhood. I was the neighborhood baby because my when I was born, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my great great grandmother were all alive, and my grandfather. So like I was raised up with the old folks
Hmm.
and poker games and drinking and selling dinners out the back of the house. So I ran from it. Like it's more to it, but the short version is I ran away from what was my gifting and went into the military. My grandmother always wanted a doctor in the family. I was the first one to graduate high school and college. And with that, I met her in the middle. It was a nurse. I was like, look, I can't, I won't. It's not my life.
Hmm.
And she was happy. She was happy that, one of her grandchildren had made it. And when she was getting sick and when she passed away, she told me she was proud of me and she gave me the okay to go back to school.
Okay.
Um, God came in and I applied for school. And by this time, I'm now burying my uncle who also helped raise me. And my first instructor's name was Kevin, which was my uncle's name. And his last name was Nana. And when I seen that, I was floored, but I knew that I was on the right path.
Hmm.
Like I just knew that that's where I needed to be. Fast forward, I get to school and I kind of already knew my way around, and everybody kind of always pigeonholes us like, oh, you cook Southern food. I really don't. Like I know how to, but I cook Indian food, and like most of my clientele are Indian, or they're from Pakistan, or they're from Sri Lanka, or somewhere that is so far away from anything that looks like what I should have grown up eating.
Right.
And that's my comfort because it pushed me and made me have to to test and to try things that were outside of my comfort zone. So while everybody else does the fried chicken and the macaroni and cheese, I'm out here doing butter chicken, biryani rice, lemon chicken, and vegetarian dishes like aloo gobi, palak paneer. Like I do all these dishes, and my children and my family love them. And then like when COVID hit, everybody was like, "Oh, well, you're not selling plates," and I'm sitting there like, "Cause y'all don't eat what I fix."
Right.
I ain't about to waste money buying all this food with all these spices, and y'all be like, "That ain't no fried chicken and macaroni and cheese," and I'd be like, "Well, but that was me overthinking because that's what I do. Like my Virgo kicks in hard, and I will overthink and talk myself out of a whole bunch of stuff. Um, COVID kind of forced me to do more like what Lori does and strategize and figure out what my next step was. Danielle knows me and she know I can talk a good game, and then right at the ninth hour I'd be like, all right, deuces, I'm out. And I will fade to the background. But this forced me to have to get to know who I was. This forced me to have to put things in order because my OCD of having things like done systematically was not there anymore. It forced me to have to use system. And
Yeah.
in doing that, I kept my clients. So I have clients that I meal prep for. And I tell people I can't meal prep for a lot of people because I'm the type of chef who that you're doing the keys. I'm the type of chef who what I feel like fixing, that's what you're gonna eat. I know it's healthy, but you just gotta trust me. Most people are not okay with it. So
No.
my little clients, they love it. They don't never know what they get in the meal, and it's perfect for me. It works. for my creative side. And with that, I've not missed a beat. And then I posted last night that we finally have a reason. The reason that I'm going to sell dinners, the reason that I'm going to push people past what they're used to is because my food truck is coming.
Okay, I knew I was gonna bring it up because I saw the post. I saw the post and I got real excited.
Not asking anybody for anything. And this is the first time I revealed it because I haven't even been able to go live. I've been making hot sauce all day. We've already raised almost $2,000, and I didn't ask for $1.
Right.
You know, so that lets me know that there's people out there that truly believe in my gifts and my talents.
Absolutely.
Don't know, some of y'all do. This is the other half of my catering company right here. We've been making hot sauce since like 8 o'clock this morning. We done.
Oh my God.
We're tired. Labeled it. Everything is done. We're just waiting for it to go to the store right now.
So where are your products going to be? Because I think you've told me, but where can they find your products?
Wait a minute, hold on. Reggie, you driving off, and I'm on. What's the name? Hold on.
Don't you love the virtual world? We can be anywhere we want to be.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because my Bluetooth was acting crazy. That's what happened. I think I touched everything. Did I touch everything?
Oh, where is your hot sauce going to be? What stores?
Oh, okay. So my hot sauce is located at Elwood Thompson. It's located at Market at 25th. It's also located at a store that's in between Stony Point. It's called Good Foods Market. And we are online at gourmethempfoods.com.
Put that in the comment. Well, maybe, yeah. And then I'll post it. Yeah. This is good because I'll read the comments and then I can put the post in after. But hopefully people are catching this too. So this is all good. Yay! I'm so happy. That sounds really interesting. And I have to check you out at the 25th Market. I don't know if anybody else has been there. I love it. I think it's really cool. A lot of me and Danielle just figured out we are both members of MBL. Any other MBL members here, Metropolitan Business League? And it's a lot of MBL business owners that are part of the 25th Market. So am I saying it right? 25th Market at 25th?
25th.
All I know is I go to the shop and they got Mama J's inside. So that's good for me. I'm going to go to Keisha. Are you muted or unmuted?
Mic check.
Do we still have a delay? There you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. It's not a real bad delay. Hold on. I'm going to your I'm gonna be like Takesha when I grow up. I got a message from her virtual assistant. Look, I need somebody. I was like, I love it. Okay. Takesha Williams, known as the virtual COO, business strategist and leadership development trainer, is the CEO of Visions Enterprise. Visions Enterprise helps clients with business expansion and infrastructure development. That's a whole mouthful, and I would love for you to expand. Tell us what you do, what type of clients you take on. Give it to us.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Takesha Williams, your virtual COO. For the last 8.5 years, what I've been able to do is take 22 plus years of operations management and literally take those same skills and create a business around it. So we build infrastructure. A lot of people have no idea of what it takes to actually run an online business, a virtual based business. And so that's one of the things that we set up for a lot of our clients. We set up the infrastructure for a successful 6-figure, 7-figure online business. We've been doing it, like I said, for the last 8.5 years. You probably heard a lot about funnels or sales funnels and things like that. And so
I've been on a conference for the last days, and that's all they talked about.
But I'm telling you, like, when you talk about it, and when I first started, it sounded cliche to me until it started happening for me. But when you talk about automating like money, and I know you probably heard people say make money when you sleep, like that is the way to go in order to generate predictable, what I call predictable income.
Yes.
And so for the last 5 years, we've been able to really grow our email list, grow a tribe of profit producers, and generate revenue. I'd say 95% online. 95% online.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't like leaving my house. So COVID-19 has been good to me. You know, it's despite of everything that's going on in the world, and despite of you know the pandemic, they say that for every obstacle there is an opportunity. And so for me, you know, going into 2020, the one thing that I was going to do was to get out and network, because I don't like to. Like, I'm just being honest. Like,
right.
I'm good with talking on Zoom or meeting people in LinkedIn and having a conversation online, you know, and meeting people globally. Like, I wanted a global brand. I did not want a local based brand. That was just something that I set in my mind 8.5 years ago. So on March 13th, when they were like, you got to stay home, I said, oh, okay, not a problem. It's not a problem with me.
It's dangerous out there. Stay home. Okay.
I was like, you ain't got to tell me twice. You don't have to tell me twice, but that's literally what we do. And so as we went into 2020, when I realized when we first hit 6 figures in our business, I was like, oh, wow, like it's not as hard as I thought that it was. And it's like, if you have a blueprint and you follow the blueprint, it's just a matter of continuing to pour in the front end, because the back is already set up and in place.
Yeah.
And so that's where we spend our time. And so when I realized that, I set on a mission to help 50 female entrepreneurs to generate a minimum of 6 figures in their business.
Wonderful. And you said 8 years?
8.5.
Because I remember when you
it'll
started.
Be 9 years.
Yep.
August 24th, 2011, I went on leave of absence, and I'm still on leave of absence.
Wow.
Love it. I love it.
Hashtag longest leave ever.
Yeah. I be looking at. I think I left my job May 30th, May 31st, 2014. Yeah, wasn't it just like?
And see, that's when I was converting from. Well, I had Sassy Shoe Gallery back in 2010, 2011. Yeah, it's been 10 years since I had the shoe company. And I literally, and the funny part about it is, the only reason why I started consulting is because when I started the shoe company, we were funded $30,000. And so people used to ask me, how did you get $30,000 and you didn't even have a business? That's the only reason why I started consulting. The only reason. And then it has morphed into what you see today.
Wow.
And to be honest, one program is literally what carried us through COVID, because I've talked to so many people in this virtual space who had 7-figure businesses yesterday, and the next day they had nothing.
Speak to the choir, because they ain't hear you. Because I'm that's me. My business is it's live. My business is being in front of people, being in front of thousands of people, and we just can't do it. And like you said, if you wasn't ready to pivot.
But you know, and one of the things that people say a lot is, and I remember hearing it, like, you have to have an online presence. You have to have an online presence. And a lot of people
don't know what that means.
We took it for granted. We took it for granted, especially like brick and mortars.
Yeah.
Because I come from a retail background. And so I pay attention to what they do. Yeah. Like, I pay attention to how retail stores move. And so I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of these stores that were able to maintain through this pandemic, They were taking online orders. They had 1 to 2 associates in their store, and they were processing orders online.
Mm-hmm.
Like my son asked me to buy tennis shoes. Where you going? Where you gonna go? You got brand new shoes. Where you going? I'm like, what?
You're
but
right.
Yeah, I mean, and so I've seen a lot of people, and I hope, and we've helped a lot of people like shift to this online world, because and to be honest with you, it's going to be like this for at least 12 to 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. We are not going to go back to what we were used to.
No.
They're going to be.
I don't think we'll ever go back to what we're used to, because we went through this. People are going to move differently. They're going to act differently. Like my mother is, she's not an entrepreneur, but she don't want to ever go back to work.
But you realize, like, a lot of companies now
are go to work. So Sharon, help me, because I want to stay home. I don't want to go back to work. And I'm like,
do you know how many phone calls I get? Let me tell you. So most of the phone calls that I get is, all right, look, Dakisha, I'm working from home, and I know they might try to get us to come back in September.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go back in September. Can you help me?
Yeah.
I mean, because we've gotten to a place where, okay, so we've been home for what, 90 days, almost 4 months?
Right.
Who would want to go back to some place every single day when you know you can get done what you were getting done for 4 months?
And the companies know you can get done what you were doing at their job. And so that's going to save them money. So them big offices like, oh, no, we don't need that, because they was more proficient at home than they ever were. Coming to this office, take coffee break, chit-chatting by the water cooler. Y'all stay home. Y'all work better.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of companies.
My question, I did have a question. What types of clients do you have? What type of businesses do you have with your clients?
What type of clients do I serve?
Yeah.
Most are coaches, consultants, authors, speakers. Every now and then we will get specialized clients that have very unique like insurance agents and things like that. But majority of our clients are coaches, consultants. We work with a lot of authors and speakers as well. Definitely speakers now, because they too had to shift into the online space.
And yeah, it's hard because a lot of people, well, speakers, I'm thinking maybe authors, because a lot of times people hid a lot. Now you can't hide. You got to be out there. And my thing is, you got to be camera ready at all times. This is the most I've been on camera in my life, is all these Zoom calls, right?
Yeah.
You be like, Dad, does the hair, like I got to put the little edge control on. Like you got to be ready. I got a little light now. My little light.
Yeah. But you know what? Everything you have is what I teach my clients to have building an online business. You got to have the right lighting. You got to have the right microphone. Like you have to have, the right settings, and all those things. Do you realize, like the Logitech C920, the price of it has gone up, and you cannot even order it online because everybody started ordering HD cameras because everyone was doing Zoom.
Wow.
So it's amazing, like all of the technology, all of those tools, the price of it increased.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So let's go to Miss Danielle. Miss Danielle Gilbert. I did not get a bio, Miss Danielle, so I'm going to let you jump in and tell us everything about yourself.
I sent it to you, and you said you had received it.
I did. Oh, you know what? I did. You know what? I'm lying. Okay. I like to what does your email start with?
I sent it from info@DanielleMGilbert.
I was the one who was struggling. I sent it to every combination that I could think of.
Which was not my address. And then when I finally got it, I was like, look at that there.
Like, oh my goodness.
I said, look at that there. Okay, I got it, Danielle.
Okay.
It's Thursday.
It's okay.
So Danielle Gilbert has found herself. Okay, I found a great spot to start at too, because this is crazy. I did do this. All right. She gave me a long one, y'all. I found a great spot to start at. Okay, here we go. Danielle Gilbert is the president and principal consultant for Manifest NU Consulting, where she elevates, is that right? Yep. And equips companies with human resource solutions to reduce risk, avoid lawsuits, and save money. That is where we need to be, because I'm trying to tell you, I said I was on this 3-day call, and the amount of information that we got of things, we had a lawyer speaking to us, and he was like, I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong, and how to correct it. And there's so many things that as small business owners, we don't pay attention to, but if we ever got caught,
it would be bad.
It would be bad, and we would not have no businesses. So please elaborate, because you got a lot of also she has a lot of letters behind her name. Please, Danielle.
So hello everyone, Danielle Gilbert. I am, as Sharon said, the principal consultant HR strategist of Manifesting You Consulting, where we evaluate, elevate, and equip small and medium-sized companies with HR tools to really help them minimize their risk, avoid lawsuit, and save them money. So what does that mean? That means that we provide the foundation to companies anywhere from 2 to almost 200 employees with tools such as HR policies, procedures, handbooks to really help them understand the importance of managing their workforce. And that's helping them. How do you manage individuals? How do you manage conflict? How do you deal with harassment? How are you training your leadership team around diversity, equity, and inclusion? And so we literally go into organizations where you may have a HR department, but it may be your chief, maybe your financial officer that is actually helping with HR. You don't physically have someone that understands the legal terminology and truly how to stay up to date with the laws and making sure that they are handling their employees with care. As we know, our number one human asset are our employees. So it's very important that we are following the laws as they are constantly changing. And so during this time, I really had to shift my business from being in person to a virtual HR consultant, helping individuals still be able to manage their employees, keep them engaged. How do they really understand keeping their employees, the morale up? And so it's as simple as offering a assessment and doing a cultural pulse on making sure that when you're having employees working virtually, how are they feeling, right? You're doing that mental check, because it's difficult when you're not able to see your employees. So a lot of my clients actually shift from having their, brick and mortar building to actually having all of their employees work from home. So it has been an actual, I'm not going to say a challenge, but it's definitely been different not being able to see my clients face to face or having a face to face conversation when you're having to do a harassment investigation. So it has definitely been one of those things where I've had to provide more of the Zoom calls and making sure that I am providing a platform where I have my clients access the policies and procedures and handbooks that I'm providing to them. So I've been doing HR for over 18 years. So all of those letters is just literally the certifications in human resources, MBA, where I have gained the knowledge, skills, and abilities to really do what I do. I have a passion for helping, guiding, and advising individuals and companies to really making sure that they understand the importance to minimize their risk, to really understand that they don't want to get sued. One lawsuit can really take a company under if you are not managing that process or processes well. And I left corporate America in 2018, January 19, 2018. But I actually started my company back in 2013. And that really just started with the vision of opening a youth center. So I really wanted to have a youth center called Manifest in Youth. But I turned that and took individuals coming to me from HR consulting and resume and turned it into a consulting business. I could not do what I do now because I was working a 9-to-5 and I grew to the point where I was unhappy. So I always talk about how I fired my boss and became my own boss. And I did that on January the 19th of 2018 and have not looked back. And as Dakisha said, I've called her many times and said, Dakisha, I am not going back to a 9-to-5. So you helped me. So she's really been an asset to me when she talks about that infrastructure and just helping me really look at the way that I do business differently.
I love it. I love it. So what would be, because like you said, a lot of times people wait till they're in trouble to call for help. What would you say is the point where someone would need your services? Where in their business should they be? Is it in the beginning, or, where in their business do they usually call on you?
So they normally call on me when they have either received an EEOC claim, or they have an unemployment claim, or they get a letter from a lawyer that they have done something wrong, where they wrongfully terminated an employee, or there's a discrimination case, or they fired someone because they didn't properly accommodate them. Where you should be calling me is at the beginning of you starting your business. And if you are going to have employees, because one thing that companies don't realize is that human resources is a key component of running a business. If you're going to have employees and you're going to be managing them, you need to ensure that you have a structure that allows someone to have an open door to not go to the CEO, because what if the CEO is harassing them? They need to have a different avenue that allows individuals to be open and to have a conversation about concerns. And what leads to the lawsuits is really individuals, the leaders, not being able to know how to manage the workforce, to manage the individuals, and them saying things that are totally against the law, that are discriminatory, that leads to that lawsuit, or them getting that claim. Or you have a disgruntled employee who says, you know what, heck with you. You fired me, I'm going to go file a claim. And now if you don't have proper documentation because you thought that, just opening a business, hiring employees, I can just pay them, right? Or I can just say what I want to say. Well, that leads to trouble. And then also hiring people. Do you have the right interview guys? Do you have the right processes where you're doing background checks, reference checks? So a lot of companies don't realize the importance of, yes, you may not be able to hire a full-time HR person, but get someone on your team that doesn't just say that they know how to Google interview guide, but they truly know what it means on the things that you can and cannot say.
Right. I was going to say that because I was thinking a lot of times people hold off on hiring people for some of those reasons. I know I need help, but it's you kind of like, you get so used to doing everything by yourself. You're like, nah, I can just get it done myself. But a lot of it is fear of not knowing the process and onboarding, because that takes away from your business. But if you hire someone like you or your company to come in and set up, like Dakisha said, a blueprint, a structure, that if you just have it in place, when people come on, it's a lot easier for your life. So this is really, really good. So I hope I want to get all of your information so that, because I know there's people watching, or they're going to watch our recording and going to be like, I need to get in touch with them. I need to get in touch with a couple of y'all right now. Katrina, you on mute. She always mute herself.
I'm getting all this good information. I'm
trying to tell you, look, I got notes.
Me too. I'm over here writing. Danielle, that was great. Everybody.
Look, because we're going to talk about how we're going to spend this SBA money and making our businesses better.
Woo. Yes. Let me help with
and
that.
It starts with putting some blueprints and some structure together. Okay, let me get Miss Katrina up here. I have your bio that you sent me.
Which is not long at all.
You okay? Katrina Humphrey, owner of RSVP Photo Booth. Katrina is from the great state of Detroit, Michigan. I know all of us Virginians here. We got us a Detroit, Michigan girl here. Katrina is a wife and a mother of 3 amazing daughters, and in her spare time loves to craft. Katrina received her BA in information technology and studied business and photography during college. Katrina loves God and gospel music. One of Katrina's favorite quotes is, "Believe in making the impossible possible because there's no fun in giving up."
Absolutely. So my story is very different. I I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I was sort of like Chef Ty. I have an old soul. I grew up around older people, and I listened to old school music. We used to call it the Black Bottom in Detroit, Motown music, and we had a death in our family, and it took us to the other side of the state. And so I was a track athlete, 4 gold medals. I ran the 200 and 400-yard dash. I was a teenage mother, teenage wife. And so I took the back seat so that my husband, he was an engineer, so that he can support the family. And so in my spare time, I craft and went to night school and took up photography and information technology. And once I graduated, my husband's career took off. And again, I took the back seat for, the family as a wife and as a mother. And then there was a car accident I was in. I became a wedding photographer, and I couldn't dedicate my time to my brides like I wanted to. And then, you got the big divorce, and then you said, uh-oh, the kids are older, what do I do now? So I decided to open up. I was at someone's wedding, and I'm like, oh, this I can do. And so I opened up RSVP photo booth maybe 6 years ago. And then after that, and since COVID, I went back to what I loved the most, was teaching. When I was in college, I loved, breaking down computers, building them. And so I'm sort of like a techie person. I can go into a software, I can break it down, I can teach it. I don't like to be in the front line. I'm in the back, and I'm the person that makes it happen. So that's my story.
So I love how we all came together. I put the word out, and I just said, women, entrepreneurs, and boom, 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 boom. Everybody started coming up. And when Danielle came in this afternoon, I said, what is our 6th degree of separation? And it's so weird how we all connected because of one thing or another. Me and Katrina connected at the photo booth expo in Vegas, 3-4 years ago, and been rocking ever since, and then me and Dakisha went to high school together, and we went to high school with Ty's husband, and now we know Takesha knows Danielle, and I think that's who tagged you. I'm not sure, but
Jeffrey did. Jeffrey
we're in
from school tagged me.
together. Right. And then I think Matt tagged you, Lori. Right. So it's always that 6th degree of separation. And I think we are a very unique group tonight, because everybody does a little bit of something. And I also am a photo booth owner. I didn't even announce myself. Sharon, Folks and Fabulous Events. I'm a photo booth rental company. But since COVID, I've been having a good time with this virtual world. So I've been doing some virtual events. We have done the virtual dating game, quarantine style. We've been hooking people up and finding love. Maybe, I don't know. We've done. What was the other game we did? We did some other games. Oh, we did trivia. We did trivia night. And then I said, you know what? It's time to refocus, because it seems like we're coming out of this thing. And the fun is over. Everybody's starting to get back out there. And it's like, let's restructure and build some new networks. And I feel like tonight, I got a lot of people here that I need to call, because you guys are doing it. And I'm very excited about that. And I'm hoping that the people that are watching and the people that will watch will call, because they need to either pivot or they're stuck and they need to figure out what's next post-COVID. And so I would like us to go around and give any advice to people that may be stuck. Maybe I can't remember who said it. I think it's Dakisha said they calling her up, September, October is going to roll around and the job is going to call. Or for like some of us, unemployment with this extra $600 is going to stop at the end of July. And we like staying at home. This is the most I've been in my apartment since I moved here. I don't know if you know, but my business, I travel a lot. So I'm usually on the road 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm never here. My neighbors are like, oh, you're home. So I've been here the most I've ever been since I lived here. So I enjoy it. I think that I want to start doing more work locally. And with what Takesha was saying and what Danielle was saying, a lot of times we start a business because we love it and we have a passion. We may not have a business mind, but there's people that can help us with that. It's people that can help us build a structure for our business. And sometimes people are too afraid to ask. I'm not anymore, because you see what happens when anything could happen. This came out of nowhere. And like you said, there was people making buku money and whoop, knocked them down. And it's like, what do we do now? And so you got to have a lot of irons on the plate. And I love what you said, Takesha, about, being at home and having your money working while you sleep, or making money while you sleep. That's what a lot of us need to do. Next time we got to find us an investment banker or something, because we really need to. I don't know if you guys seen, but there's a lot of people talking about investment. So if any of you do investment, we could talk about that. But some advice to those that are watching, to us that are here, that could help in the next month to 2 months coming. Does anybody want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So my advice to anyone who's looking to start a business is to have a plan. As many different things that we all may want to do or individuals have. But what I have learned most doing this whole entire time being home is having a plan, having strategy. So like Lori and Takesha talked about, having those things written down and really following that plan and putting those processes in place. And sometimes as entrepreneur mindset, we just want to jump right in it, and we don't have an understanding of what we want to do, and we just do it. And then we think about, oh, these are the consequences or the repercussions. And so if we put the plan, write it down, believe in what you can do, follow that blueprint, as Takesha would tell you, and everything would manifest. Another thing that I would advise is, practicing making sure that you're focused. And part of my focus every single day is that I do daily affirmation. I write in a journal. I meditate. So therefore, as you're going through a time that we're in now, and you have a blueprint and you know what you want to do, you are able to keep your mind focused on what is the end goal. And so, yes, I have many different businesses, but I'm only able to manage all of them because I truly have a mindset to focus on what I want and what my why and my why is, and what is the end result and where I'm trying to go, so that I don't have to keep picking up the phone and saying, Takesha, make sure you keep me from the verge of wanting to go back to work, right? Because it's the times where, as an entrepreneur, we get in the mindset of like, is this really working? Where are we going? So think about March the 13th, where they say you have to stay at home, and people panic because they didn't have a plan B. They didn't have a blueprint to follow. They didn't know what they were going to do. And now they're in a time to say, okay, how do I truly shift and pivot? So my advice is to write it down, follow it, do your meditations, and keep focused and know what your why is.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Anyone want to go next?
Sure, I'll jump in. That was really great advice, Danielle. Thanks for offering those recommendations. I think one of the challenges that a lot of people had at the beginning of COVID-19 was just being disillusioned with the situation and all of what people could not do. And when you think about what you can't do and you think about your opportunities through the eyes of limitations, it limits your creativity. I think it's really important. Self-awareness is really important. You got to know, what are you amazing at? What are you great at that matches somebody else's problem? So it's not enough to just have a skill that you're amazing at if it doesn't actually match someone else's problem. You got to have both. And I really encourage people who are starting to start with a high awareness of self. What are you strong at? What is your expertise? What do you have to offer? But then how does that match with someone's problem? And are there many people who have that problem? Because that's where the business takes place, at the meeting of a problem which meets a solution and meets a group of people that have that. And when you have that, then you're able to then build a plan around how you want to reach those people. Who are those people? Where are they? How are you going to reach them? How are you going to serve them? At what price point? You're able to build a plan around that. And so that's what I would recommend. I also think that it's important to just know that A lot of people start because of passion, but it's going to be systems and infrastructure that sustain you, because sometimes you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, why am I doing this? This would be so much easier if I just had a job, because when you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a full-time entrepreneur, you've got to work. The money doesn't happen. And so even the structure that Keisha talked about, some people call it sleep coin. If you want sleep coin, you still got to put that time in to build the infrastructure so that you can get sleep coin. It does not happen by itself. And so I think it's really important also to think about, where are you weak? Where are the areas that are not strength areas for you, so that you can staff your weaknesses? It's really important to know where you're strong and where you're not, so that you can find people to offset the different elements. And there's no shame in that. Like, there is no company that has grown to be amazing and profitable off the skill of one person. It's always bringing in experts that can plug in at different times to round out that whole machine, if you will. So those are some thoughts.
Excellent.
I'll jump in next. Thank you for that. I think for me, it was organization, like being organized. Like Sharon said, COVID, we're in the event industry, and it shut us down completely. We were so used to getting out there, moving every weekend, going event after event after event. So when COVID came, I realized, like, I didn't have a lot of stuff in order that I needed to get in order. Whether it was, contracts or whatever it was, but I needed to be organized, and I am super organized now. I'm sitting here like, is this really my house? And so I would, and that goes back to Keisha. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Planning and strategizing. You have to have those things so that you can be focused, and so that the plan and everything can come all together. So that's what I would suggest.
Organization.
Mm-hmm.
God, yes.
Who's jumping in?
I guess it'll be me. But I mean, just piggybacking off of everything. I mean, everything you guys have said is absolutely like 100% on it. The things that I would add is number one is to get going. And I always say that you don't have to get it right. You just got to get it going, because idea plus implementation equals income. If you don't implement on the idea that you have, you're not going to generate any money. Nothing from nothing is nothing. So you have to take action at some point. Right. And I always say, focus on revenue generating activities. Like, we have a tendency to sit around and we would do busy work, but it's not actually work that's going to generate revenue in the end. So if you can, outsource where necessary, so that you can focus on the things in your business that's actually going to make you money. Like, if it's not going to make you money within the next 7 days to 7 weeks, it is not important. Like, seriously, it's non-negotiable. The other thing is focus. Like, I tell myself, I tell my students, be like a stamp and stick to one thing until it delivers. Like, you can't be all over the place. You gotta take one thing and go with it until it works for you. Right. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be, or you guys are growing at the same level. Because, and I know that we've all heard it, but it is so real. Like, my business bestie and I, our numbers last year were within $5,000 of each other. Every single month, our numbers were within $2,000 and $5,000 of each other. I cannot make this up. So you have to look at your closest company. If your circle is not on the same level as you, you got to get yourself a new circle. Yeah, like, seriously. And I have no problem saying bye-bye, because at the end of the day, I got 2 kids. I'm a single mom, 2 kids, and they are looking at me, and I have to provide for them. So this right here, like I said, I'm still on leave of absence, so I ain't had nowhere to go back. And then do not be afraid to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
You cannot be afraid to invest in yourself, and you have to invest in yourself in the level in which you want to succeed.
Mm.
I probably spent more money in COVID-19. It's ridiculous. I am bad, but I pay for access. And if I know that I'm going to be able to get access to the information that's going to help me, and I'm a type of person, like, I watch people and I watch what they do and I watch the results that they get. And then I will go and spend money with them and I will duplicate and it will work and I get my money back. So do not be afraid to invest.
I love it. I love
Very
it.
strategic.
Ty moved on. She'll be back. I think she keeps dropping because she's on her cell phone. So I'll take her spot and then hopefully she'll jump back in. My advice is to be in something that I don't always do. So I'm speaking to myself. Be consistent. You know, a lot of times we do something once and it works and then we forget about that and we don't keep doing it. Or sometimes we do something once and it doesn't work. It's because we weren't consistent with it. So I would say try to be consistent. If you're already in business, be consistent. If you are trying to get into business, I'm going to follow what Takesha said, which is find a mentor. Look at what other people are doing, and that's where you need to spend your time. And you need to be around a circle of people that look like what you want to be. And stop and leave some of the other stuff alone. Because I know I have fallen into a little bit of playtime during the COVID where I'm not being productive. Because I think at first when it hit, it was disbelief. And then it was like, well, I can't do anything. So then I got complacent with not doing anything. And now it's like, wait a minute, but what if things turn around? Then I got to be ready to go. So it's like, just if you stay consistent, if I had stayed consistent throughout the time, then I knew that I would be ready to jump back in. She's trying to get back in, but it's her connection. Then I know that when things start happening again, because I think also we get burnt out. We're going so much, we get burnt out. So this has kind of been a welcoming relaxation time, but now it's time to get busy. And like Katrina said, get organized. I know I will be reaching out to Keisha on the, looking into more online presence, because we didn't have an online presence. We had to go into, and I got help from the MBL. They said, well, call up your vendors and find out what resources or what features they can give you that can get you through. And that's what we did. We called on our vendors and said, hey, we need to work. What you got? And they came up with some really good ways for us to pivot into the virtual world. And so now that we're here in the virtual world, I don't want to leave. I love it. And so now it's like a whole nother business. So now I have to redo my structure make room for this virtual world and the live world, because like you said, this is going to be, it might not be to 2021, the end of 2021 before we get anywhere close to where we were before, So, the other thing I would say, those of us that have businesses, if you have not sought help for your business, it's out there. It took a while to find some of the help, but if you need help, the Small Business Administration has been amazing. They've been very attentive. They have kept us in the loop. They are constantly sending emails, constantly sending resources. Thank God they sent some money. Also, chambers of commerce, other small business organizations. I'm part of the MBL. Shout out to the MBL. MBL put together some resources with some banks and some other organizations and raised some funds for small business owners. Sometimes you just have to ask and you have to look and find out what's out there to help you. And don't be ashamed, because this is the time where you need to open your mouth and ask for help. I think a lot of other people felt that they were ashamed to ask for help because I'm a business owner. I should have been on top of this. Nobody expected this. And nobody's going to look down on you for because you're not failing. Everybody, this took everybody's surprise. So this is the time to ask for help, and then in places where you are weak, to build up and be strong. Ty's back. But she's
still frozen. I was like, she's still frozen.
Dang it, Ty. Try again.
And while we're still trying to get Ty, I would like to also piggyback on NBL because they have been awesome, and they had an opportunity for a grant, and I actually received a grant from them. Also, they're offering small business advisory from a partner that they're working with, which is LISC. And so they are awesome. So you're part of the grant, and part of it is once you receive the grant, you'll get mentioned in the Richmond Times-Dispatch, but it's also helping your business and finding out what do you need most. So the LISC company will work with you one-on-one to give you the additional resources that you need. Wow. And so there are a lot of grants out there for women. So I'll try to post some of them as well. Yes. But it's out there. So I encourage people who are watching, those who are on this platform, to definitely begin to apply for those grants, because they are wanting to help small businesses and making sure that we are able to get through this pandemic and come out on top and better than what we were when we started.
Yeah. I think we are. I think that this was something that taught us all a lot. Don't take anything for granted. Tomorrow is not promised. That's for sure. Because some people have lost businesses, but other people have lost lives. And so it's going to, we might need some business therapy, but we also might need some mental therapy because it was a lot to take on. And I think we're all going to come out stronger because we've built new networks. And I think the situation that most of us have been in has allowed us to open up and be more open to people, because I've been able to connect with people that normally didn't have time for me. Normally you couldn't catch them, So now we've connected and like, wow, I didn't know that about you. And I didn't know that about you. And so now we can work together and things like that. So I think this is a really great time to, I've been missing, I'm sorry. I think somebody's talking. Okay, I got it. I've been missing a lot of that networking time because I've been so busy. And so now that I'm not so busy, I can really catch up on things. Anybody else? I know we've talked, but
I want to piggyback off of something that you said. I think it's really important to establish relationships, and not just when you need something, checking on people, understanding, what people do, and connecting people as you're able to. You never really know what might be a connection that's helpful to someone else. And I mean, it is true. You do end up reaping what you sow. You don't sow because you're going to reap, but it does happen that way. When you stay in contact with people and really know what they're about and how you can help them. I have never been out back because of that. It's only been good to really invest in others. It ends up, it really does end up coming back, whether it's directly or indirectly. And then not just people in the same space. Sometimes I've gotten referrals from unlikely places. I might have met someone or spoken to someone at an event, and then, I'm top of mind, and someone say, "Oh, I heard that this person has a need. Would you be able to help them?" So I think that's important. That, and then follow up. So just to kind of make a quick sales comment, a lot of times people give up when they hear no the first time, but they say that it takes like an average of 7 or 8 touches before people, say yes. And so not right now doesn't necessarily mean it's a not at all. Right. I think in the follow-up, it gives people time for the timing to line up. So that's another key piece.
And we definitely learned that in the photo.
No, but you know what? I do need you next month.
Yeah.
Okay, Ty, go.
Did y'all hear anything I said before it went wonky?
No.
Okay, so here it is. This is what COVID did for me. COVID made me focus. So I am now a certified cannabis chef.
Wow.
So I cook with herbs, and I infuse dishes more than just treats. And because my background was a nurse, I know all about the endocannabinoid system, and I know how to put the food in your body in order for you to maximize and achieve what it is you're going for.
Right.
What COVID also showed me was that I'm needed. There are people out here who don't know how to grocery shop. They don't know how to operate around their own kitchens. So a part of the meal preps that I do meal prep for 3 weeks. And then whichever week you want that 4th week to be, I come in and I show you, because biblically, we're supposed to become fishers of men, but also teach. I love what I do, but there may be a time where I want a vacation and you're going to need to be able to cook for yourself. So with all of that, I come in and I just teach you how to use the stuff that you already have. And I do pantry dumps, like what's already there, and giving you a healthy outlook on how to eat and how to use what you already have, instead of constantly going back to the grocery store and spending money only to come home and find out you already had it in the cabinet. The infused side, and like you two, I traveled all the time. Like Richmond doesn't really know me because I'm kind of a transplant. But before COVID kicked in, I had just came back from Miami doing the Sobe Wine and Food Festival. I had just got invited to do the New York City Wine and Food Festival. I got picked up by Puma and his wife from the Black Ink, somebody off of something. Listen, I don't watch reality TV. So I'm at a party and these people kept getting in my camera, taking pictures with me, and I didn't know who they was. And I was about to have a whole attitude, and somebody was like, "Do you know who that is?" No, who? And they love my hot sauce. And I was literally supposed to be in Arizona, California, Houston, Oregon, and somewhere else traveling and cooking. And COVID was like, no, you need to sit your butt at home and work on your own stuff, because if you keep on going out here, you're going to keep on being disorganized. So for me, it forced me to understand that I need systems. It forced me to understand that this is a reset, get my life together, but also just how much I was needed to be able to show people how to just cook simple stuff.
Absolutely.
Right. And any words of advice for future chefs or business owners?
If you love what you do, if when you go to sleep all you thinking about is food, then that is definitely, and I mean not just to eat it, but to actually make up something.
I was like, I want to be a chef.
You want to create, like I had to clean that up. You want to create something for somebody. You figure that these two spices just have to go together, and you can't sleep until you try them on something and make just to see if it works. Do that, but find you someone who is willing to pour into you and not use you, because in this field we get used a lot. And I speak from a place of experience where I worked with someone else because they were on Food Network, and because of what I was able to bring to the table, you never wanted to open the door enough for me to see in. You just wanted to keep showing me the door. So I finally had to use my foot and kick the door in and let them know that I belong at this table.
I know that's right.
So find you someone who is willing to not look for what's in it for them, but to be a true person of here. Like my new mantra and my new motto right now, especially through COVID, is hold my hand and take this journey through food with me. Because if we don't go together, then I'm always leaving somebody behind, and that's not what we're supposed to do.
Right.
So find someone who's willing to pour into you. If there is something that keeps you up, use it, work on it, and continue to do it. And then for all of you ladies, I have figured it out that I need to have a social media presence, because mine was in the toilet. Like I'm not going to post things. and I be forgetting, and then I be like, oh, throwback Thursday, and then it be next Tuesday, and I still ain't posted it. Like, I got pictures in my phone that had people like, oh my goodness, and they just in my phone. So I'm working on. I'm gonna be calling some of everybody because I need help when it comes to that part. But that's it. Sorry, that's it.
And I would like to add, piggyback. Chef Ty said something that is very important, and that's, if you love something and you are passionate about it, it's very important that you are able to do what you love, right? And if you don't love what you do, then that is not for you. And so I'm always trying to coach and mentor individuals to say you have to walk in your purpose and your passion, right? And so if you're not able to do that, that means that you have to find another passion.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say too is it's very few things. I've dibbled and dabbled, but I've had two businesses. My first business that I loved with a great passion was in direct sales, and it was with Tracy Lynn Fashion Jewelry. And I remember when I first started, my mother said, "Oh, you like a new Christian with this business." And I did it for 6 years, but what I noticed was I was giving so much to that business. And I said, what if I gave all of that to myself, and what if I went this hard for something that I like to do? I loved the jewelry, but I was pushing that brand. And I figured out I was a brand because people buy from you. People buy from people buy from people that they like. And even in this business, me and Katrina can be best friends, and we do the same thing because she's not my competition. Like she said, she a tech wizard. When I got a problem with some software, I'd be like, Katrina, so this ain't working, and she will jump in, she will help me because we don't see ourselves as competition, and so we can help each other. And we do the same thing. And I'm learning from her. She's learning from me. But I also do coaching. So people will ask, how do I get started in photo booth? Or they're just getting started in the photo booth. And I don't know what it is. I love to talk. But I will just pour what I've learned because I know how it is to just get started. And I don't want to see you make stupid mistakes and spend money on stuff that's not going to help you and grow your business. And so I'll listen to where you want to be and I'll help. So I've done speaking. I'll go and speak at the Photo Booth Expo in Vegas every year and try to, pour what I've learned and what I've gone through to somebody so they don't have to go through it. And so I just enjoyed that. And obviously I enjoy networking and bringing people together. And I think this is marvelous. And I've met new friends, Lori and Danielle, and I've got to connect you with people that, I think we are amazing businesswomen. So that's the goal, is to keep doing this every week. If you know some other businesswomen that would like to get on and just share and talk and encourage and hopefully offer some advice to our audience, who knows who they are. We've had some steady numbers. I mean, people are watching, but I know a lot of people watch on replay. And so I'll watch the numbers. If you guys can, I'll send you the links. And if you've seen the links to repost, I did a live a couple of weeks ago, and I constantly go back, and those numbers keep climbing. And it was so funny. A lady, I don't know if she found the event planner before me or she found me, but I just found I did a live for an event planner, and now me and her are working on an event this weekend together, and I had no idea. Nice. I just happened to see the event on her page. I'm like, I'm doing that event. And so this is how we connected. She probably saw the live and called both of us because we were together. Who knows? But that's how it usually works. But any other last words? We've been on about an hour and 28 minutes. And so I wanted to close out, keep it kind of cute at an hour and 30. So if any last words, if everybody could, I don't know what, one last word.
Lori wants.
I was just gonna say, being an entrepreneur, you are a seed sower. You're going to be talking about your business. You're going to be making videos. You're going to be sending emails, reaching out, talking to people, passing out business cards, connecting, and you never know what is going to pop up and when. But if you sow the seeds, you will reap a harvest. If you don't do anything, through inactivity, through self-doubt, through fear. Sometimes fear will keep you on the sideline. Like, you got to get into the game if you want to score. And I just want to encourage, anybody who's thinking like, oh my gosh, I had a meeting. We created a space for executive leaders to meet and to work through their problems, a free space at that. Every week we said we're going to give this to leaders who really just need help thinking, having a thought partner so they can pivot. And I remember one particular Thursday, I was like, you know what? I really want to just cancel this time. I don't feel like it. I got other things that I need to do other than to hold this Zoom space for someone. And two people that I had never, ever met ever at all, that came from my email list from systems that, Dakisha and others have helped me set up. They came into that call and I was able to have a conversation and I was able to provide value for them. And again, it wasn't about getting, compensated in that moment, but I was able to help them think differently about their business. And had I not really saw that as a seed sowing opportunity, I would have, through discouragement, not sown, and then I would not have reaped a new relationship, know. And so I just want to encourage you to stay in the game and do it even when you don't feel like doing it, because it's not for right now. It's for later. It takes time, but it's for later.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else? Last words?
The last thing I would say, and it's kind of goes in connection with what I was saying earlier, is be intentional about creating new relationships. Be intentional about creating new relationships. And it doesn't necessarily mean like relationships where you can benefit, but where it's a mutual meeting where you can give something, but they also get something in return. And it's interesting because I've been in that situation where I've been put in a situation where I have to intentionally network. And while I'm networking, people are watching what you're doing. And I've generated business and referrals by, like Lori said, just sowing, like literally just sowing, by giving, by serving, with no intention of necessarily receiving anything. But I'm intentional about making connections, intentional about meeting new people and getting into new spaces. So I think it's very, very important.
I love it. I love it.
The advice that I'm gonna give is the one that my grandma always gave me, and it was when we were cooking, season until your ancestors tell you to stop.
Ooh.
If you know that it's for you, there will be telltale signs that will keep pushing you in that direction.
That's true.
Everything about what I do and how I do it is because someone before me had a little girl sitting on the counter watching them put stuff in a pot to cook. So you season everything that you do. You season your friendships, you season your children, you season your life. So just season until your ancestors tell you to stop, because only in that moment will you have hit where you need to be.
Right.
That's just coming from a food side of things, but it works.
You need that on a t-shirt.
Put on a t-shirt.
Oh, it's the t-shirts are coming.
Well, that's amazing, Chef. But I did want to say one thing to Sharon, and I'm not gonna cry. No. Sharon, I want to thank you for being that hand that I can hold to make it through, this industry, because you know what? Sometimes life will knock you down, but Sharon's that type of person. That energy that she gives brings you back to life. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I love it. We're having a good time. I'm trying to tell you. I love you all. I appreciate everybody coming on. Again, I want to be respectful of your time. If you know anybody that wants to do this next week, or you guys want to do it next week, I am open to do this as many times as we need to do it to really help encourage. Because I know it helps people. That's all I do know. Because I always get emails, I get inboxes of, oh, that was really great, or can I get the name to that person, or whatever. So I just enjoy on Thursday nights. And I don't know why it ends up being on Thursday. We picked a Thursday night. But on Thursday nights, I love to get on virtual and just share or do something fun, or because you don't know, we could be taking somebody's mind off of something. else wrong, but this is very positive. So I want to keep the positive energy flowing. So
definitely talk about those grants because we can all use some information.
All right, ladies.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, ladies.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Let's connect.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.